Hello YouTube, it's Carlos the Brook, and I'm bringing you round 4 in the tournament I played last weekend at Chess Zone. My favorite place to play, get in the zone with Chess Zone. And in round 4, I'm playing Raymond Chen. Raymond is higher rated than me. He's 1798, I'm 1658. We've played before, so I'm familiar with playing him. And so I got the black pieces, let's get to it. He starts off with e4. I respond c5 going into Sicilian. Knight f3, d6. And he go d4, cracking open in the center. I capture. He takes back. And here I go knight f6 hitting the pawn. He responds knight c3. And I go a6 heading into a Najdorf. My second favorite opening. So I got my first favorite opening Spanish in the round previously. And now my second favorite opening is the Najdorf. So I'm getting them back to back. And here he goes into the bishop g5 variation. So I got prep for this. Bring the knight to d7, f4, queen c7, queen f3. This is all theory. h6, hitting the question to the bishop, asking the bishop what it want to do. He takes on h6. I take back with the knight. And now here he goes f5. And so the point of f5 is he clamping down on his position. He doesn't want me to play e6 or g6 or g5. So he's just restricting my position and gaining space for white. So black has to counter immediately or he ends up with a cramped position. I go queen c5, hitting the knight. Hold on, let me back up just for a second and see what Stockfish says. Fishy agrees queen c5 is the best move. I was just making sure this still is current theory. Queen c5, cross castle protects the knight. And now I go g5. And Stockfish give me S-clams for this. Because the whole idea of g5 is I'm gaining space back on the king side. I want to go bishop g7 and just make sure I don't get cramped. So white takes here. I take back. And hold on, the bar just jumped like it didn't want me to take back. It doesn't. Stockfish doesn't want me to take back. It wants me to go bishop g4, skewering the queen and rook. G captures f7 check. King captures f7. Queen d3. Bishop captures d1. Knight captures d1. Bishop g7. g3 with the idea of putting the bishop here, protecting that e-pawn maybe. Knight captures e4. This is an insane line. Queen captures e4. Bishop captures d4. Stockfish crazy. Stockfish is crazy. It's saying c3 or bishop d3. We'll go with the c3. They want rook on a to c8. Oh, wow. Because the pawn can't capture the bishop. Because it's pinned. And if the queen captures back and it's pinned. Wow. Then bishop d3. This is like a mind-blowing variation. This is what Stockfish wanted. And that's crazy because I didn't have that prep in my prep. I had f captures g6 taken back. So he goes, and my idea, I figured he would go, what I had prepped for was queen g3, hitting the pawn, and then g5, and then go on from there. But he sees the threat of the bishop here skewering, and he wants to block that threat. So he plays h3. The engine is saying e5 was better. In this position, the engine wants e5. D captures e5. Knight b3 hitting the queen. e4 hitting the white queen. Knight captures e4. Queen to f5. Knight on e to d2. Queen captures f3. Knight captures f3. Bishop f5. That's what Stockfish wants. And that's crazy. That's a crazy line. Really, really, really crazy. So it doesn't want h3. It wants a more aggressive line from white. So I go bishop g7. I just want to develop my bishop, get my bishop into the action. Maybe castle this way, maybe castle that way, maybe keep my king in the middle. I really don't know yet. We got to see what white does. White plays king b1, which really shocked me. That's a waiting move. Why would you play a waiting move in this position? I just really knew e5 was coming. e5 or maybe bishop d3. No, e5 or g4, pushing on the king side. White has to do something here. So I go bishop d7, and Stockfish doesn't like that. It wanted castle. It wanted me to just castle here, and it gives an advantage to black. But I went bishop d7. I didn't castle because I didn't want to castle right into an attack. I wanted to bring my bishop out, and if I wanted to castle queenside, I had that option available. If I want to go b5, b4, and have this knight not be able to go over here, bring a rook to c8, I got ideas. So Raymond go knight b3, hitting the queen. Stockfish doesn't like that. It wanted e5. And so here I go queen e5, and my idea is just, I'm not going to let you go e5. I already know from my prep that e5 is one of the white's best moves earlier in this position. And so the queen just blockades that square and doesn't allow it. And if this knight moves, I got a knight move with tempo where I'm going to be threatening checkmate on that king. So here he goes, knight d4, bringing this knight back, saying he admits he made a bad move. So here I'm looking and making sure my queen's not getting trapped here. And I go ahead and castle. And now I got a knight move over the queen that's coming with tempo. If the queen stays there, the queen moves to e3. And here I'll put the rook on a to c8. I'm just lining up this rook. I got tactics in this position. When this knight comes out, this queen and bishop is on a battery. It's coming up to the b2 square. So he goes bishop e2, and his idea is bringing the bishop to f3 and protect his pawn. And so I go b5, and once again I'm thinking b5, b4. I don't want the knight to go over to a4. That's why I put the bishop on d7. And where's the knight going to go? It doesn't really have a good square to go. And here he played knight f3, and immediately I knew that was a blunder. Knight f3 hitting my queen, but I want to take this knight here, and if we go back a move, I can't take the knight here because the queen takes back and he's good. But when he moves the knight to f3, it allows me to play this sacrifice. I sacrificed the rook once again, 2 games in a row. Rook captures c3. And my idea is, if you take this knight, my queen, I take yours, you take this, I take yours, and where's your bishop going to go? Your bishop has to move, and white is just down a piece. So that line doesn't work. So if queen captures c3, queen captures c3, b captures c3, my idea is knight captures e4, and I'm threatening a fork. Fork this way, forking the king and rook. Fork this way, forking the 2 rooks. So I'm giving up the rook, but I get it back with compensation. I'm busting open white's queen side, so the king safety is at risk, and I'm going up a pawn in the process also. So Raymond, being 1798, almost 1800, he's seen both of these variations, and he didn't go into that line. He went B captures c3. And so I take on e4, going up the pawn. The king position is cracked open. And here he doesn't trade. He go queen d3 because once again, if you trade, I'm coming in with my knight and I'm threatening that triple fork. So he runs from the fork. So I just go queen a4. Okay, I gave you a chance to trade the queens on my terms. Now you don't want to trade the queens. We're not going to trade. Your king is open. I'm going to pressure this king. So he go knight d4. His idea is to bring the knight back and get the knight into safety. And so I had to think for a while what was the best move here. And I came up with knight d5. And my idea is this pawn, the c3 pawn is weak. I want to bring the queen to, what is this? A3, hitting c3, and I'm threatening the mate. So he's going to have to bring his knight to block. This bishop is going to come alive on this diagonal. I got the rook coming this way. So I got all types of pressure coming. So he plays bishop f3. And he's not going to allow me to go rook c. I want rook c8. And then I get the rook coming in here. So he's not going to allow me to do that. So the bishop is a really good move. So I actually thought about sacking the rook. So I took about 20-minute think time here, thinking about a sack a second rook. And it just doesn't work out. Because if I take the rook, hold on, what was my line? If I take the rook, the queen takes. I can't capture right here yet, because the queen is on that file. And the queen is threatening the knight with a check. So it just doesn't work. But I was trying to calculate a way to get this bishop out, because I got a checkmate coming. It's queen here, knight here, and then it says checkmate. So this bishop is just stopping it because it's forcing me to move my knight. So I go knight b6. And now my idea is bringing the knight to c4. And it's also stopping the check here on d5. So c4. Now my idea is knight c4. Queen a3. Checkmate that way. So he goes queen captures g6. I thought that was really, really, really wrong. Stockfish doesn't like that. It wants rook on h to e1. Then it's saying I need to play queen a3, c4, queen captures d3. It wants to trade the queens, bring the queens off. Rook captures, b captures, rook fades back. So that's the line Stockfish wants. But queen captures g6, I felt like that really took the queen off the file it's supposed to be on. And once again, I was looking at sacking the rook. Rook takes this. Knight comes here with the queen. And it still doesn't work. It just didn't work. Taking here. Knight takes. Knight here. The king can't run because it'll be check, back, mate. But it was a move with the queen. Take, knight here. What was the move? Take, rook take. Hold on, let's play it out. If rook take, it's saying it don't like knight that. It want the pawn to take. Pawn take. I was saying you gotta go queen c4, but I wanted to go knight here. Knight d5. Knight c4. Oh, it's just this. And you pin. You can't get no defense back. That's why that didn't work. The rook just comes over and the bishop is pent and none of your pieces can get back in time. I got mating 2, but I'm getting mated in 1. So that's why the rook sack didn't work there. So I went rook f6 instead, hitting the queen, forcing the queen back. And I wasn't really sure if this was the best move in the position, so I played it like shakily. But it turns out that this is the best move. It's winning. Stockfish got me up 2.62 here. The queen has to go back where she came from to d3. And now I go king h8. And my idea here is I want to move the knight to c4. And I don't want to allow bishop to d5 with a check. So I don't want to give him that tempo. So then, because bishop d5 check, and then you can take my knight. So I didn't want to allow that. So rook on h to e1. He's threatening on coming in here and hitting my back rank. And I go knight c4, just completely giving up the advantage. Knight c4 was wrong. Stockfish wanted e5. It wanted e5 hitting the knight. And it's saying what? Bishop c6? Bishop c6, queen a3. That's crazy. Knight captures b5. A captures b5. Queen captures b5. Bishop captures c6. Stockfish going crazy again. Queen captures b6. Queen captures c3, protecting the bishop. And then we went to an endgame, rook versus two rooks versus rook and two bishops. And it has black is completely winning, but this is not that simple. Here I want rook e3 for white to hit at the queen. So they're going to go into an endgame. So I didn't like that. I wanted knight c4, and my idea is simple. Queen to a3, threatening the checkmate on b2. So Raven plays bishop d5, hitting the knight. He's not going to let the knight go in. He's not going to let me do the checkmate, so bishop d5 stops that. And here I go e5, hitting the knight. And my idea is I just want to hit the knight, gain some tempo on the knight before the bishop captures my knight. And then I can go into the end game with a passer, a connected passer. Hold on, it's crazy. Stockfish is saying here, like I did an analysis in ChessBase, it say black has compensation, but black is up to no good. Some like it hot. That's crazy. So Raven goes knight b3, and that move is losing. He was supposed to go rook f1. Stockfish wanted rook f1. E captures d4. Rook captures f6. Bishop captures f6. Queen to g6. Oh my god. No, not queen g3. Queen g6. That's wrong. Queen g6. Wow. And you're threatening the mate on g1. Knight a3 check. King c1. Queen captures c2. Queen captures c2. Knight captures c2. Rook f1. So you don't take the knight. It wants rook f1. King g7. Now king captures c2. And this position is drawn. This is what Stockfish wanted. But Raymond played knight b3. So I went bishop f5, hitting the queen. And my whole thing is I'm trying to exploit the weakness, that weak c2 square. And he goes queen g3. And now I go knight a3 check. He go king b2. And I capture on c2. Knight captures c2. And my idea is queen is coming Right here, check. A3, check. That's going to force. You don't want to go to B1. It's going to. You can't go there. Oh my goodness. That's just brutal. The king can go to C1. King C1. Here, hold on. I don't want that. It want knight or knight captures E1 here. It want knight captures E1. You ain't want to take back. Rook D2. Just stopping, get some defense. Then the knight comes back to C2. That's crazy. That's just crazy. And if the rook take, what if the rook take? Bishop take. The king take. Queen captures. King D3. Is the bishop here? What is it? Here. Queen gonna go here. H5. H5? How's H5 a move? That's crazy. Queen B1 is the fourth best move. Queen B1. King E3. Now it wants E4? Why E4? I don't understand why E4. I have to ask my coach about that. But before we even got to that point, once I captured on C2, Raymond resigned. And I got another win. 3 wins in a row after that devastating loss in the first round. The last 2 games, I got brilliance on chess.com for sacking rooks 2 games in a row. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. Tell your friends and family. Let's grow the channel. Have a nice day. Goodbye.